Well, I think the dream really all started back when we were at Northwest University. Katie and I were engaged at the time, and we're at a chapel service, and God began to show us a vision of both of us serving in an urban area. And we didn't know where that was at the time, but God was really showing us just feeding and clothing people, not necessarily in the natural, but in the spiritual. And so God began to give us that same dream.
Urban is built around wanting to build other people's dreams. It's not just the fruition of somebody else's dream, it's built on launching other people into their dream.
I'm just really excited to be a part of the church, to spend time with these people and to grow in God, because the dream of mine's always been to just learn more about God and to be able to share His Word with people.
There's a real sense of encouragement, and that's what we want to do here, is continue that spirit of encouragement and help people reach new levels and new heights in their faith, and not just in their spiritual walk, but in their everyday life.
We all realize that it's not about us, it's not about the pastor, it's not about the place, the sound, the music, but it's just making sure that God is in there. And that no matter what we do, God is going to be in it. And as long as He is in it, our dreams are in it, our future is in it.
In 1999, we had an opportunity to head down to San Diego and help start a church up in Rancho Bernardo called the City Church. And so we came down here, and over the course of several years, we just began to fall more and more in love with San Diego, with the people, and specifically with downtown and with the city.
Yeah, it was really while we were serving at that church in Rancho Bernardo that God really began to show us that this was the city that we would ultimately start that church and really fulfill the dream that He put in our hearts as we were serving there as the young adult and youth pastors and intern directors. And from there, the dream just began to grow. By the end of 2004, I knew it was God, and I began discussions with our pastor. But at that time, we just really began to realize that even though the dream was in our hearts, that maybe it wasn't the right time to start Urban.
So in 2005, God just began to redirect us and took us out to Las Vegas, Nevada, to the church at South Las Vegas with Pastor Benny Perez. And at that church, we had an opportunity to build up the youth ministry, and we became the young adult pastors as well as the intern directors, and learned so many incredible principles there in Las Vegas, and specifically as leaders, how to lead, and incredible character lessons that we learned along the way, and it was a wonderful opportunity.
It was a really good opportunity for us. Learned so much there. It was actually while I was there that God opened up the opportunity for me to travel, really to all over the country and even different parts of the world. And the cool thing about that was I got to meet so many pastors and see what God was doing all over the place. And really it was through those traveling experiences that the dream just grew inside of me even more. And then really learn different styles of church and what we would want our church to look like someday. And also while we were there, when we first went there, Pastor Benny sat me down. He said, "Look, I know it's in your heart to be a pastor and to start a church." He said, "Just give me 3 years and build the youth ministry, build the young adult ministry, build the internship, and at the end of 3 years, I'll launch you out."
Most of us just moved, with no jobs, no really any set plans, just knowing that God had told us to move, and just having words and just having scriptures, just having dreams. So we just decided to move, be a part of the dream, start the journey.
Just the process of getting to this day, of this specific moment of February 8th, 2009, our grand opening. It's been so incredible.
And it's been a great experience so far. It's been fun. For the first time in a long while, I can say, going through the hassles of practicing has been a lot of fun.
And I talked to Ben, and Ben was like, well, he started encouraging me to start going to church, and he started to tell me, like Urban is there for me for anything. And so that's just pretty much how I got involved. Like, it was just, I just needed that extra push, and my brother and Ben were there to give me that extra little push.
I really feel like God has put this church here just for me. It's all about timing. It's all about God preparing your heart and being ready to move the way that He wants to and use you in your story, whether it be perfect or not.
And so it was at the end of 2007 when the dream that started back in 1996 really began to grow in our hearts and really began to grasp hold of it. So in 2008, we took some trips out here and realized it was the right time and knew that San Diego was the right city. In a lot of ways, we look at our journey and we look at the life of Joseph, not so much about the pit that he was in or Potiphar's house or the prison, but just the principles he learned in his journey and those things that sustained him enough to be in the palace one day and be second in the kingdom. And I really think it was those character issues he learned through those seasons that sustained him. And we've been under so many great ministries and great pastors, and we'd just like to thank today and honor today all those that have really molded us and made us who we are. All the way from Pastor Wendell and Jenny, the City Church in Seattle, and Pastor Jude and Becky Fuqua, who are still some of the greatest pastors and mentors that we have in our life, and Steve and Kathy Carpenter, who befriended us and really drew us into that church. And right here in San Diego, Pastor Jerry and Tammy McKinney. If it wasn't for them, this dream wouldn't even be lived out right now. It's because of their dream that brought us to San Diego, and just want to honor them and thank them for all that they've poured into our lives. And then the Pastor Benny Perez and Pastor Wendy Perez and the Church of South Las Vegas for supporting us for this year and giving us finances and sending people. We just thank you guys so much. We are who we are today because of all you. And then we'd like to thank ARC as well, Association of Related Churches, who's poured into this vision and believes in this vision. And we know because of all the people that have gone before us that Urban's going to be a great success. So thank you guys.